All right, so thank you for tuning into Chompin at the Bit. This is episode number 88. I'm Kyle Letters, of course, and coming to you wherever you are listening to this podcast, as we are available on all major podcasting platforms. So, this is your first time. Thank you for tuning in, and you can go ahead, hit the like or subscribe button. That way you'll know whenever I upload episodes. And then you can go over to Twitter, follow at Chompin Podcasts, where I put up polls, tweet out, and all that kind of stuff. So get that out the way. But today's episode, I'm going to talk about NBA All-Star. So as you know, this All-Star weekend is being done a little differently, as they're doing everything one day today. With the the skills challenge and the 3-point contest will come before the game. I believe they will start with the skills challenge at around 5 o'clock. Then they'll play the first half of the All-Star game, with the slam dunk contest being the halftime entertainment. Now, we'll have to see how it goes, how it's viewed ratings-wise or whatever, but I think it should be fine, depending on, the slam dunk contestants, how well they can perform for halftime. The skills challenge and the 3-point contest is always pretty entertaining, because you don't really have to worry about weak performances in those, because with the skills challenge doing like big men and like wing players and point guards as well, the competition already kind of ratchets up with the big men wanting to show that they can perform with the guards. So you always get that in that competition. 3-point contest has become the top competition for All-Star Weekend, because big stars want to be in the 3-point contest. It's never been a problem for them. And you have the same thing this year, which is why it is kind of bypass the dunk contest, because for some years now, not a lot of the big names have been in it. Now, there was some talk this year that Zion thought about doing it. Ultimately, he didn't, but that would have been good for the contest. Jaylen Brown said he thought about doing the dunk contest, which I would have loved to see, but he has like a knee tendonitis thing, so he doesn't want to push it too much. He'll be in a 3-point contest, but 3-point contest isn't as taxing. So, but we know back in the day, dunk contest was where it was at when you had Jordan in it. You had Dominique, who was at 88 when they went back and forth. You had guys like Vince Carter put on a show, Jason Richardson, Blake Griffin. Who can remember? Who could forget a couple of years ago when you had Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon going back and forth? So, and that was probably maybe the last year when the dunk contest was kind of the must-see event. And now we have some guys that probably diehard NBA guys would know, but casual fans may not know the people in the dunk contest this year. So I wonder how that's going to play, like I said, ratings wise. But break down each competition. I will give you my prediction for who will win the dunk contest, how the skills challenge will play out and who will win, as well as the 3-point contest. Then I'll take a look at the All-Star game itself. I will predict the winning team. Predict the score, sure. And I'll predict the All-Star MVP. But before we get into that, there is a little bit of breaking news that came out a little while ago. But as we've seen already, the All-Star roster has been changed a little bit, because we saw Booker be announced and then pull out because of a knee injury, and Mike Conley replaced him. We also had Let me see. I mean, Durant was hurt to begin with, and he was replaced with Tatum in the starting lineup. We've also had Anthony Davis, who's clearly going to miss it, and was replaced by... Who's Anthony Davis replaced by? Wait, who did replace Anthony Davis? Huh. It wasn't Zion. Was it Randall? It might have been Randall. But no, Anthony Davis was replaced by Sabonis. I don't know. I've got it all confused, all these moves that have happened. But we had those kind of before. But then earlier today, we found out that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are now out for the All-Star game due to contact tracing. They apparently, came in contact with a barber in Philadelphia who tested positive. So as a precaution, they're keeping Embiid and Simmons out of the game. Now Embiid is going to be replacing the starting lineup for Team Durant with Zion. Ben Simmons, looks like that spot's just going to stay open because I'm sure logistic-wise, with it happening today, well, at least with them being announced as out today, I mean, to fly some player from outside in now and then having them play probably would be an issue. I guess the easiest way that they could do it technically would be replacing Ben Simmons with like Trae Young, since he's already in Atlanta, in the games in Atlanta. But there has been no word on that yet. I'm just saying right now, do not be surprised that that is ultimately what happens. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm kind of surprised the league didn't just do that right away. But I guess if he brought in Trae Young, he would have to get tested, of course. I don't know. We'll see. There's still a few hours before the game. But I'm just leaving that out there right now. Do not be surprised if Trae Young gets named to replace Ben Simmons. But yeah, so we'll get into the game towards the end of the episode. We'll start with the competitions first. And so since the skills challenge and 3-point contests are before the game, let's go to the skills challenge. So in the skills challenge, we have Domantas Sabonis going up against Julius Randle in the first matchup of round 1. And then the winner of that matchup will face Luka Doncic in the second round. So what they did was they gave Luka Doncic and Chris Paul first round buys because how'd they do it? I think they did it based off of all-star appearances. So since those two had the highest of the group, they got the bye. So like I said, Sabonis Randle face off to face Doncic in the second round. Second matchup of round 1 is Nikola Vucevic and Robert Covington, who will then face off against Chris Paul. So, like I said, past few years, big men have done really well in this competition. And if you get, of course, most of the big men that are in it are big men who can kind of shoot from the outside. So, my guess is that best bet is to put at least one big man in the final. I believe there's been a year where it's been 2 big men, but I think you have to have at least one big man because there's always one that makes a surprise upset over a guard at some point. So in the first round, I'm looking at Sabonis and Randle. I think will be tough because I believe Randle probably has the quickness factor on Sabonis, but Sabonis is a better passer, so I wouldn't be surprised if Randle has a little lead going in. Well, so okay. So to explain the obstacle course, if you put it, when they start the clock, the players will weave through dribbling between kind of like cones, but I think they're shaped as like NBA silhouette, like player silhouettes. So you dribble through those, and then You get to your first station, which I believe was the is it the chest pass? How does it go? Yeah, I think it's a chest pass. Yeah, the chest pass through the little hoop. I think you can bounce it if you want. You can do straight through. And then once you do that, you make a layup. And then you dribble the other side of the court, weaving in and out again. And then that next station is, I think you just have to make a three-pointer. I feel like I'm missing a part of the thing, but you'll see it. So, like I said, so Randall has a speed on Sabonis, but I think Randall might struggle with making the pass, and I think Sabonis will be able to do it before Randall. And I think Sabonis is a better three-point shooter than Randall. Not to say Randall isn't a good one, but I think Sabonis will just nip Randall at the end there and move on to face Doncic. The second matchup, Vucevic and Covington, I think kind of the same thing there, where Covington will have the clear speed advantage, but Vucevic is a better passer. And I mean, Covington will be coming into this with a lot of pride behind him, as the whole weekend is all HBCU based, and Covington is an HBCU grad, so he might put some pressure on himself to do well, to represent for the HBCUs, but I kind of think Vucevic will beat him as well on the three-point shot, even though Covington is a better three-point shooter. But I think Vucevic might create a little distance from the pass and get a couple of shots up before Covington does. So Vucevic will go against Paul. Then I have... So Sabonis will go against Doncic. I wanted to go Doncic there, but I think Sabonis might be on a heater and beat Doncic too. I could see Doncic maybe playing around a little bit, and like when it comes to the pass, you would think Doncic might get it on the first try, but I could see him maybe hitting the rim of it a couple of times, slowing him up, and then Sabonis will come, maybe do it on the first try, so then the pressure starts building on Doncic, and I think Sabonis will upset him to go to the final, where I think he faces Chris Paul. I feel like Chris Paul will just be too much for Vucevic, and I mean, this is technically a competition that should be made for Chris Paul, since he's very, technical on the court. So dribbling in and out should be no problem for him. The pass should be no problem for him. I mean, he's been kind of a pass-first point guard for a while now. I mean, he's a facilitator. I'm not going to say he's pass-first because he does score as well. And the three-point shot, Chris Paul's a good three-point shooter, especially with it being like standstill. I mean, that's where he kind of takes most of his threes. He's not really a run-off-the-pick type three-point shooter. So I think Chris Paul will ultimately beat Sabonis in the final to win the skills challenge. And of course, you can let me know, Twitter, whatever. Well, after you follow at Chompin Podcast, of course. Let me know on Twitter if you agree with my pick, Chris Paul. And I will be putting up some polls here in a little bit to get your guys' opinion on who you think will win. So definitely follow the show for that. Then the next contest will be the three-point contest. Now, like I said, three-point contest is always the most entertaining one because you get the bigger name guys in it. And I mean, the skills challenge, those are some pretty good names. Doncic, Chris Paul. I mean, I guess those are the two big names in that one. Sabonis, Randall. Yeah, it's pretty much Paul and Doncic. So they would love to see Paul and Doncic in the final in that one. 3-point contest. I mean, listen to this field. You have Steph Curry, we all know. Zach LaVine, who, like I said, put on that show in the dunk contest, but he's shooting like 43% from 3 this year. He also said he's not doing the dunk contest anymore after that. Was it the rematch year where he felt like he got screwed on a dunk by Dwayne Wade or something, which ultimately led to him losing it. So he apparently said he's done with it after that. So he's now in the 3-point contest. You have Jaylen Brown from the Celtics, who's becoming a bigger name as his play has stepped up each year in the league. Now Devin Booker was in this contest as well, but like I said, he's been replaced by Mike Conley, and Mike Conley will be in the 3-point contest for him as well. You have Donovan Mitchell, big name. It'll be his first in the 3-point contest. He is shooting, I think he's shooting around 40%, I believe. And then you have Jason Tatum. So, interesting. We have Brown and Tatum, 2 Celtics. You have Conley and Mitchell, 2 Jazz players. And plus with all that talk from the All-Star draft where the 2 Jazz players were picked last, maybe Mitchell might use this chance to try to boost his name up there. And I'm not going to say use as motivation because, it was just an all-star draft. Not that big of a deal, but we'll see. So the way the 3-point contest works is the 6 guys here will take shots from 5 standard racks around the arc. Each player will get to pick one. Okay, so before that, on each rack you have 4 just regular basketballs for 1 point, and then the final ball on the rack is a multicolored ball, which is for 2 points. So it'll be like that: the 4 1 point, 1 2 point on 4 of the racks. Now 1 rack where the shooter can place anywhere around the arc. It will any position of the 5 to be their straight money ball rack. So normally it's going to be where the player thinks is his best position on the floor. There'll be 5 money balls on that rack. So that's really the rack they want to take advantage of to boost their score up. And then what we've seen the past couple of years is there is a rack with, I think it's like 2 3-point balls, which are a little deeper, and I believe that's placed, I think it's placed between the top of the key and the wing. I think it's like 6 feet off the 3-point line or something like that, and both those balls are worth 3 points. So that's definitely something where if you have that range like Steph Curry does, I think Zach LaVine has that range. I haven't really seen Brown or Tatum shoot from there. Conley, no. So that might be for Curry and LaVine. We'll see. But if you can knock those down, that could definitely turn around your round if you're struggling a little bit. So each player will do that. They have a minute and 10 seconds to get through all those shots. So if they don't get them all off in a minute 10, then that's where your score is. It's 2 rounds. So the first round, all 6 will do it. After that, the top 3 move to the second round and the final round, and then the winner of that round wins the competition. So my guess, okay, so I guess your top score, so if you were able to go through it, make every shot, you get 40. That's the top score. So looking at this group of 6, I think the 3 that will move on are Curry. I mean, that's the safe pick. I think LaVine. And I would have had Booker as my number 3. But I'm thinking I'm going to go with a little surprise here. I mean, you're probably thinking I'm going to go, Mitchell, maybe Tatum. I'm going to go Jaylen Brown. So I'll explain why. So for me, Conley doesn't seem like Conley doesn't seem like a real volume 3-point shooter. So I could see where he may start off a little well, but as he's going along, I could see him struggling, and yeah, I think he won't make it out of the first round. Tatum, my problem with Tatum is I think he may have the slowest shooting motion out of the guys in this competition. So I feel like time might be a problem for him. But if he can get hot early and, put up a score that's respectable, then he may be fine. But what I worry about is he may struggle. Like if he struggles early and then he starts rushing his shot, it could get bad. So I think because of Tatum's long release, he'll struggle in this one. Mitchell has a good chance to make the top 3, but I feel like Brown might eke out the 3rd spot by like a point or so. I'm expecting Mitchell to do well, but I think Brown will do maybe like a point better. I don't know, should I predict scores here? Yeah, I guess not. Why not? Conley, I'll give him like 15. I'll go 16 for Tatum. And then Mitchell, let's go 18. So Brown, I'm trying to think of Brown's shooting motion. Brown has a quicker release than Tatum. I mean, Brown might use more legs than most in this competition, which usually the guys that rely on their legs a lot don't do as well. But I think Brown will do enough to get out of the first round. I'm not picking him to win it, though. So I'll give Brown, let's go 20 for Brown in the first round. Yeah, Levine basically uses no legs in his shot, so he should be fine. I'll go 20. I'll go 25 for Levine. And then 27 for Curry for the first round. And then come the second round, I think Brown struggles in the second round. We'll go 15 for Brown. I think Levine will have another strong performance in the second round. I will go 24 for Levine. But I think Curry gets it with a second round score of 28. Yeah. There you go. I think Curry wins it over Levine and Brown in the second round. But I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a good competition again this year. So definitely tune in for that one. Now the slam dunk contest, which will be performed at halftime of the All-Star game. So this is interesting. So like, as I said before, the game's going to go first 2 quarters and we know I explained on here a couple of episodes ago, the All-Star game format is the same as last year, where each quarter is basically its own little mini game where the score will be 0-0 to start the quarter. And whichever team wins that quarter, I guess, gets the money for the charity choice. Then once we get to the fourth quarter, they add up the scores of the first 3 quarters. Whichever team is leading, they add 24 points to the leading team's number, which is in respect to Kobe Bryant. Then whichever team reaches that final score mark first wins the game. So, example. Let's say going into the fourth quarter, it's Team LeBron 100, Team Durant 96. So what they will do is they'll take the 100 from T. LeBron, add 24, like I said, respect to Kobe Bryant. Then the first team to reach 124 points will win the game. So LeBron's team will just have to score 24, and Durant, if he's at 95, then his team has to get 29 points before LeBron scores 24. So there you go. But yeah, so during halftime, the slam dunk contest will happen. And here's the interesting thing. We have 3 guys in the contest that a lot of people don't know. I'm familiar with, I know all 3 of them. But in terms of dunk contest ability, I know probably about 2 of the 3's capability. So we have Cassius Stanley. I know what you're thinking. Who? Well, he's a guy who went to Duke. That's where I know more about him, was from his time at Duke. I haven't really seen him play in the NBA. He's been in the G League, and to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of G League games this year. It's probably something I should probably pay a little more attention to at this point, kind of see where the rising stars might be coming from in that game, or in that league, I should say. Although the G League, side note, is legitimately becoming an option for guys coming out of high school who don't want to do the 1 year in college. The G League is taking these kids in, giving them like a year of experience with an NBA team, because the G League teams are basically structured the same way as the NBA teams are. And as more G League teams get added, you start seeing that one-on-one relationship between G League team and NBA team. So it's even better that way. So as the G League continues to grow, it becomes more of an option for high school kids, which I think will be great, because it'll serve as like a minor league system for the NBA. So Cassius Stanley. The reason why he can win, if you, I guess, check out YouTube and do some Cassius Stanley highlights from Duke, you can tell he can jump out of the building. So at Duke, he recorded a vertical leap of like 46 inches, which is ridiculous. I believe when he did it for the G League, he was at 44, which is still ridiculous. So if he can, with that vertical, if he can get creative, kind of like Zach LaVine, where Zach LaVine has crazy hops, which means he's clearly in the air longer, which allows for him to do a little more, then Stanley has a good shot at winning this one. We have Obi Toppin, who's the power guy, because he's 6'9", and you could look at him at Dayton and he would throw it down, and he makes loud noises on the rim. It's just straight power with him, and that can do well in a dunk contest as long as you dunk clean, because that's how Dominique did it. Dominique did it with power, and his dunks were clean, which made the power look better. If Toppin's dunking and it's sloppy looking, like he's rimming them in and stuff, it'll look terrible and he won't do well. So he has to dunk clean and with power to offset Stanley's vertical ability and probably his ability to be a little more creative. Simmons is the guy that I'm skeptical about in this one, because I've seen him play in some games, but I haven't really seen him dunk like that. I mean, I know he can get up there and dunk, but I feel like he might be the one who struggles the most with putting on a show, because I don't know how creative he'll be in this competition. So I think it's going to come down to Stanley and Toppin. I'm going with Stanley on this one. I think Cassius Stanley has a chance to make a name for himself in this contest and put on a show. I think that's going to be the big thing here. He and Toppin are going to have to put on a show to really make it worthy enough of being during the halftime of the All-Star game. Yeah, because it's a good chance if it's a bad one, people may turn it off and maybe switch channels and just hope that they catch it at the right time to turn back in for the second half of the All-Star game. So yeah, I'm going. So just to recap, I'm going Chris Paul skills challenge over Sabonis in the final. I'm going with Steph Curry to win the 3-point contest, and he'll be in the second round with. It'll be Steph Curry, Zach LaVine, Jaylen Brown in the second round. Curry wins it, and then I'm taking Cassius Stanley to win the slam dunk contest. And I think Obi Toppin will come in second and Simmons will be third. So, now on to the All-Star game itself. And as I explained a little earlier, have a lot of replacements with Embiid and Simmons being replaced. Well, Embiid and Simmons are out. Neither position's been replaced, but Zion's going to slide into Embiid's spot in the starting lineup. And Simmons was reserved for LeBron, so he's out. So now we're going to have a starting five for Team LeBron, it's going to be LeBron. Well, actually, okay, so for Team LeBron, we're going to have Steph Curry, Luka Doncic in the backcourt. We're going to have front court of Giannis, LeBron, and Jokic as the big man. For Durant, who's not playing because he's hurt, so we're going to have Kyrie Irving and Bradley Beal in the backcourt. We're going to have Kawhi Leonard and Jason Tatum front court with Zion as the big man. Oh man, these two teams here. Oh, I gotta give some love to the reserves. So LeBron's reserves, he's got Jaylen Brown, he's got Paul George, which I don't know where Paul George's head is at, because Paul George has said that he was not in favor of playing the All-Star game. Which, I mean, with the whole situation with Embiid and Simmons, I understand that. So, wonder how excited he'll be to actually be in this game. You have Rudy Gobert, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Sabonis. That's it, with Simmons out. The reserves to watch for LeBron are Lillard and Paul. I could see Lillard going after an MVP in this one. And then, I mean, Chris Paul, that's LeBron's buddy. He's in the LeBron circle, so you might see some alley-oops and stuff from those two. I would expect Curry to shoot a lot of threes in this game. Giannis will probably go 100 for as long as he's out on the floor. Doncic and Jokic will put on a show for viewers. So, interesting team there. For Durant, key reserves are, I guess, Harden, LaVine, and Mitchell. Those are the guys to watch for Durant coming off the bench. And who could I see making a run at an MVP? I can see Bradley Beal trying to get it. If not him, then maybe Donovan Mitchell are the guys who might go for the MVP in this one. I mean, Durant's team is a smaller team. I mean, the only real big man that they have now that Embiid is out is really Vucevic. Because Zion's what, like 6'8"? Is he? Or is he? He's not taller than 6'8". He can't be taller than 6'8". So, that's going to be an interesting part of this. I mean, Team Durant's going to have to play a speed game and shoot the three. Whereas LeBron's team, where you have Giannis, who's not really a three-point shooter, LeBron in this setting is going to be looking to dunk a lot and probably throw some crazy passes and that kind of stuff. Yes, Steph Curry, yes, he's going to shoot it. Lillard's going to shoot it. But Gobert's an inside guy. Chris Paul's a mid-range guy. Sabonis is an inside guy. Jaylen Brown, I think Jaylen Brown's going to put some dunks in this game on tape, which may lead to a future dunk contest. I could see Jaylen Brown in next year's dunk contest. And then Paul George, like I said, I don't know where Paul George's head is at in this one. So I think it's going to be an interesting game of styles. Now, we all know in the All-Star game that they played defense only in like the last half of the fourth quarter. So, I think last year they started playing defense at the start of the fourth quarter. Since there's not timed, you can't really wait till the last half of the game because, no clock to see. But yeah, I think the same thing's going to happen in this one where the fourth quarter you'll see some legit defense being played. Guys going at each other. Maybe a little bit of trash talk. I don't know. We'll have to see. But looking at the two rosters, I think I kind of want to go Team Durant on this one. Because I think the outside shooting of Team Durant might be enough to counteract LeBron's size on his team. Because you have Bradley Beal who can shoot it. You have Kyrie who can shoot it. Kawhi can shoot it. Tatum can shoot it. Harden, Levine, Mitchell. Vucevic he shoots like 40% from the top of the key on the three. Randall can shoot the three, but I don't know how many he'll take in this game. And Zion's not shooting. I think Durant might win it. That might be an upset. I think LeBron's team's the favorite in this one. I think. I'm sure there's some Vegas line tied to it, but I'm going Team Durant on this one. And final score. I know the over-under is like 330 points. Trust me, it's going to be under that. But I will go... give me one... See, I don't know, because scoring in this one could be ridiculously high, or it could be kind of low scoring. Let's go a little high. I'll go Team Durant 145, Team LeBron 140. Yeah, let's go with that. We'll see how it goes. For all we know, come back when I do a recap of the game, and it'll be like 189 to 188 or something. But so there we go. Quick recap again. Chris Paul for the skills challenge. Steph Curry 3-point contest. Cassius Stanley to win the slam dunk contest, with Team Durant winning the All-Star game. And last one, my pick for MVP at that point. So Durant wins. Who will have a big performance? As I said, I could see Bradley Beal. I don't think Kyrie. I don't think Kawhi. I don't think Tatum. I could see Harden, Levine, Mitchell. I'll go Bradley Beal as MVP. Yeah. Let's say he scores 24. So there you go. I'm picking Bradley Beal as the MVP. So yeah. And that is a good place to stop on this one. So once again, the All-Star coverage starts at 5 o'clock with the, TNT crew, of course. So it says the skills challenge and 3-point contest are at 6:30. I mean, those contests don't take long, so I guess like 6:30 to 7. I don't know. So between 6:30 and 8, you'll get your skills challenge and your 3-point contest. Game will start at 8. Slam dunk contest will be at halftime. That'll be around 9 o'clock. Yeah. So there you go. It's going to be a pretty good evening leading into night of NBA action. I know some people are a little hit or miss on the NBA All-Star game, but last year, at least the fourth quarter was really entertaining, so I'm expecting the same thing in this one. So hopefully you'll watch it, because I know I will, and you'll enjoy it, and then we will come back and recap it at some point. So yeah, there we go. So if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. You can go back and listen to a few others that have come before. Like I said, this is episode 88, so you got like 87 to go back and listen to. And I guess looking ahead, for my NFL fans, I will have an episode coming up where I talk about some news that happened in the NFL that may have slipped under your radar. With Big Ben re-signing with Pittsburgh, and then J.J. Watt, who left the Texans, he signed somewhere. He signed with the Cardinals, so I'll go over that, give you my thoughts on those two moves, as well as if any other NFL moves happen between now and that episode, I'll add them in as well. I mean, the NBA is off until Thursday, or do they have some games Wednesday? So we'll see about that. And also, we are in March Madness time, so I'll start doing some college basketball stuff. Because as I said a couple episodes ago, I have been watching more college basketball lately. There are some teams I have my eye on for the tournament, as well as kind of a change this year, because we all know that Duke and North Carolina are prohibitive favorites when it comes to the tournament. Well, it looks like this year one of them may not even make the tournament. So talk about that later on. But yeah, have a lot coming, and hopefully you stick with it. As I said, hit subscribe wherever you are listening, and follow me on Twitter at Chompin Podcast. So yeah. So anyway, be safe. God bless, of course, and I will catch you on the next episode. All right.